What's up, TLN? It's Russell Melendez, fifth-year attackman at Johns Hopkins University.
Coach Chase Erlin here, just graduated last spring, now staying on to be our Director of Lacrosse Operations. Excited to show you Cordish Lacrosse Center, some of the facilities, and historic Homewood Field. First stop kind of here in the Cordish Lacrosse Center, all of the trophies and kind of paying tribute to some of the great teams and players that have played here before us. So you can see some of the 44 national championship trophies that the program's had. Our two most recent ones in 2005 and 2007 kind of showcased behind the crowd. You'll see in the top left is 𝐓𝐇𝐄 𝐋𝐀𝐂𝐑𝐎𝐿, who's our defensive coordinator, one of the best in the business, and it's nice to have his perspective as an alum and someone who's won 2 national championships here.
The rivalry, it's the biggest game in lacrosse history. Maryland versus Johns Hopkins, it's packed out every year. This game means everything to both teams. It's the neighborhood rivalry, it's the historic rivalry, so whoever has this crowd is in good hands. I also watched the Maryland and Johns Hopkins rivalry games growing up, saw Zach Palmer hitting behind the backs and Brian Phipps making saves, but it's crazy to be playing in those games, and this is definitely one of my favorite trophies.
Now we're entering kind of into the men's lacrosse locker room. As you can see, definitely an open concept, right? We have some couches in here just to encourage those conversations. Throw a joke over there, chirp, whatever it is. So definitely makes it easier to kind of communicate, hang out with, and bond with.
All right, so I'll take you guys through my locker real quick for gloves. These are the best gloves on the market, the Razor 2s. For the elbow pads, we got the Stallion 500s. They cover a little bit. I like to pull mine up on my elbow, but yeah, these are super comfortable, easy to move in. In the past 3 years, I've kind of fallen in love with the Stallions, and they upgraded their model to the 1K, and I really haven't looked back ever since. I complement it with an 𝐓𝐇𝐄 𝐋𝐀𝐂𝐑𝐎𝐒𝐿. And then I got my own little tape at the bottom that I'm used to playing with. So yeah, this is my setup, and 𝐓𝐇𝐄 they work wonders, and they make the game super easy for us to play. So
actually the founder of 𝐓𝐇𝐄, Richard Tucker Sr., who played here in the 50s, started 𝐓𝐇𝐄 after he graduated, and then unfortunately he recently passed away, and so this year, we're kind of paying tribute to him, and it's a little bit special again with our partnership. Fortunate to have that connection still here in Baltimore.
Keep out goes to the practice player of the week, player that shows that they're bringing it every single day. Yeah, it's pretty cool. So.
Alrighty, so now we're gonna kind of head down towards another place that we kind of pay tribute to some of our alums, some of the greats that played before us. And on the wall, as we walk down this way, you'll see all of the first-team All-Americans in their names and what year and position. And so 185 now, the most in Division I of any school, of any program. We were at 184 last year until our most recent, Scott Smith.
So these jerseys represent the 5 pillars that our team is built around. And my favorite so far that I've seen is the competitive. I think it resonates with myself and a lot of our teammates. But one example of that, the best example you could have, is Kyle Harrison and the legacy he left behind for Hopkins. I've gotten to work alongside with him and learn from him. So he's been a great mentor in my life and a huge piece of the puzzle. So today,
I wanted to turn this off in case he was recording.
give me some love.
How you doing? What you got going on? How you feeling? You ready for the holiday?
This is the famous Miss D.
Hello.
She keeps all of our stuff in line. She makes sure everything is good for us, and we love her and we appreciate her greatly.
And I love them. They're such a good group.
The next up we got, I like to call it kind of our recovery room. So this is our game day training room. So trainers will come in on game day and stuff like that, tape ankles, stretch out shoulders, anything like that.
The recovery is a big piece of the puzzle. For us, we go through a lot of wear and tear, especially in practice and games. So this piece is probably just as important, if not more important, to your success on the field than actual training.
Next stop is the film room. Okay, so all of our large kind of team meetings, scouts, anything like that before and after practices, games and stuff will take place in here.
Yeah, the film room, this is a huge part of our process. I think chopping up film is something that Hopkins has done incredibly well over the years. This is the quote, 𝐓𝐇𝐄 𝐋𝐀𝐄 𝐍𝐄𝐖𝐒𝐋𝐄. It means out these doors nothing. And basically, Spartans, before they would go to battle, they would all meet and they would come up with the best plan to strategize for their opponents. And it pretty much symbolizes that whatever goes on in this locker room, it stays in the locker room and we can work it out together, but ultimately we just have each other, and when we exit these doors, nothing else matters. All right, so another quote that Hopkins builds around is the man in the arena. It means that if you're in the arena and you've put in the work, no one can have any criticism on it. They can't speak on what's going on because they don't know what happened, and with that being said, they don't know the energy, the time put into your process, and ultimately that's a result on the field. And it doesn't matter the outcome, but it matters that we've done it and we've put in the work, and it's about the process. So this is big, and I know our team appreciates it greatly.
Alrighty, so as you can see when we walk upstairs to kind of the coaches' offices, open study spaces and all that, you can see the national championships on the stairs. One of my favorite features is the balcony on Cordish. Great view of historic Homewood Field. So guys can hang out and do homework out here, study, watch some film, anything like that, and then we get a nice, again, one of the best views in the world right here. And you can see Liam Gregoric, freshman attackman, getting after it. So it's nice to see that.
For games, it's awesome seeing people up here fill this stand. It's like another nice perspective having people you know up there watching you and supporting you. So the Cordish Center is the spot to be at for Hopkins Lacrosse.
Another nice kind of historic piece of paying tribute to teams and players that have played here before us, and all the legends is, these pictures are kind of everywhere, right? So anywhere from, we got Paul Rabel here rocking the old SDX stuff. I think it's got like the Proton Power, and a little throwback to the childhood days, but from Coach Petrovod and Larry Quinn, Kyle Harrison right here again rocking the STX retro stuff. So it's pretty cool to see where the gears came from, even from Kyle Harrison's days and AJ Haugen, and then you can see how bulky these elbow pads used to be. It's kind of crazy to see how the equipment and technology has evolved with Hopkins. So you already start to hear a little Creed playing in the background. I love it.
All right, so this is the Star Varsity weight room. This is where we put in the sweat equity. We got lift 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, Fridays. We're in here, getting in the locker room at like 5:30, and then we're putting in work in here. This has a direct translation to the field. Coach Jay Dyer gets us right in strength, conditioning, everything we need. So
we gotta get this UTB assist.
yo, Greg.
$20 says it goes over. Please read.
Gino, the counts.
Historic Homewood Field. Countless, championship games, USA World Lacrosse games have been played out here. Hall of Famers, Tour-Town winners, and anything that's happened in the sport of lacrosse, there's a good chance it kind of came through Homewood Field at one point, right? You hear the word lacrosse and you think of Johns Hopkins, you think of Homewood Field.
My favorite part is practicing on Homewood, whether it's being alone or being with my teammates. The time put in such a cool and unique and special place, and it's kind of cool to see everything come full circle. Like reflecting back on my time as a kid and why I played lacrosse. I grew up, my dad taking me to games. I think the youngest I saw a game was 6 years old. The first lacrosse game I ever got to see was on Homewood. I grew up seeing it, and I think that was kind of myself manifesting it into the future. Just the big stage games and Homewood kind of goes along with that. So
thank you guys so much for coming along. Thank you to TLN and STX. Come back anytime soon.
Excited for the 2025 season. Roll Jays.